Cynthia? Cynthia? Hi.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
I'm sorry. You know, sometimes with all of the modern stuff we have, the iPods, cell phones, computers, sometimes it seems like we scarcely have time for our best friends and family.
Do you have time now? We can talk about Jesus.
Sure, let's do it. Well, we have to put our minds back about 2,000 years. I'm certain that there were some nice days like this when Jesus was around, but you know, he didn't have computers, he didn't have movies, YouTube, DVDs, or high-tech music to draw people's attention. But when you think of it, he certainly got their attention and changed the world, didn't he?
Absolutely.
Jesus found ways to catch people's attention and imagination.
What was the purpose of Jesus' teaching? First of all, he used it to draw a crowd. Of course, we know he did miracles, and it's hard to beat that for a crowd getter. But since we understand that the people loved his words, there was something about it that drew people to come to him. And he also had to keep their attention because there were some very important lessons he wanted to teach them. He used his teaching to explain to people what it would be like to live in a kingdom where God ruled everything from the heart and people worshiped God from their heart. He took the everyday laws and rules around them, the things that came from Moses, and also the traditions of the rabbis that were being followed at the time. And he took those laws and kind of stretched them and put them into people's hearts and said, this is what the outside law is, but you should do it from your heart. And we're going to talk more about that when we discuss the Sermon on the Mount. But he had a way of challenging people to say, oh, you think you're doing well because you obey this law? Are you doing it from the heart? And how can you get it to come from your heart?
Jesus prophesied his own trial, death, and resurrection.
Jesus also used his words to prophesy what would happen to him, so people would know that he knew he was going to be killed, that it didn't take him by surprise at all. And he made some prophecies about the future, some of which occurred in the 1st century after his death, and some of which we are still waiting to have happen. So those are the purposes of Jesus' teaching.
The purpose of Jesus' teaching was to draw a crowd, to challenge people's thinking, to touch hearts, to teach about God's kingdom, and to prophesy.